Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rob Morris is in the house. Mr. Rob Morris, hanging out with the Detroit bass players. And also in the house we got Mr. John Rose, Mr. Brandon Rose, the bass phenom. We also got Tia right there. Only way I can tell y'all apart is from your hair. We got Tanya, bass player, Detroit bass player. We got Mr. T.wash in the house, another Detroit bass player. We got Mr. William Pope, another Detroit bass player. We got moms, aunties, the ladies, and we got the guy either putting up a bass or taking one out or something. I don't know. Ted Brandon. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a surprise for y'all. This is gonna sound kind of weird. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a Cleveland, Ohio bass player. Came all the way to Detroit. Came all the way to Detroit to hang out with us Detroit bass players from Cleveland, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rob Morris, also known as Rob Mo. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Now I just happen to know this cat from playing bass a few years ago. He's also one of my students. He's when I used to live in Cleveland, I used to be his bass instructor, and then I moved to Detroit. And once a month we'll still try to get some lessons in online. And so he's been coming and checking out the Detroit stuff, and he wanted to come and meet some of these Detroit bass players. So y'all give Mr. Rob Morris. That's inside.
Like Rob White.
That's another Cleveland bass player. Give him a hand for coming out, hanging out with us here. Now, just like everybody else, first question: what brings you to Detroit, bro? What you hanging out here in Detroit for?
Man, I like the fellowship and with the bass players. When I wanted to get into playing bass and started, bought a bass, started playing, it wasn't a lot of support I found, out for bass players. It's guitar, and it is really, gets all the support and. But I like what you guys doing up here. I just had to come and be a part of it and meet some professionals.
Yeah, you get to ask any of them questions yet, man? Because they all here and available. They all here and available to talk to you.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, so I hope they talk to you before we leave tonight. Now, how long you been playing bass, man?
Well, a little short story. I always say, people ask me, I always say about 2 years. I actually bought my first bass back in 1997 or 98, somewhere just before I moved to Indianapolis, and it was one of those.
What was
Jazz
that?
Bass Deluxe.
American name?
Mine was black with the white pickboard and everything. It was beautiful, but I didn't respect that. I was just before that I never played the bass before, so. I ended up selling it because I didn't like it and regret it later once I learned how to do something. That's a sweet bass. But, I bought the bass. I had it for a couple of years, taking lessons on and off because I was working, playing in like 2 and 3 basketball leagues at a time, so I couldn't devote myself to it. I ended up selling it, and I was without a bass for years, and about 2 years ago, I decided to get serious, about learning bass, so I bought another bass, and so I like to tell people, because in the past 2 years I've probably progressed more so than any time before that. So
yeah, and how did what helped you progress so much?
The practicing.
And anything else help you progress?
My bass instructor, Big Al.
Thank you. It took him long enough to get the hint. Yeah. And so I mean, since you started taking lessons with me and you started understanding more about what was actually happening in the music, what it takes to be bass player, and then you started playing with people?
Yeah, I was playing with a band called Tuesday Boulevard in Cleveland. We were a rock band, more like a classic type. They call it indie rock. I wasn't familiar with it. It was kind of a fluke I ended up with those guys, but it was all original, and it was fun because I was able to create my own bass line. You know, and that was real fun. But you know, we did quite a few shows, and but that was my first. And right now, the only band I've been with. We see how things go in the future.
And that's what you're doing right now. You still trying to hook up with somebody out there in Cleveland. So y'all Cleveland folks, y'all see this. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna throw this on the Cleveland's bass player page, because you know I'm a member of that still too. Throw that out there. Yeah. See if anybody wants some Cleveland bass player. This guy's a fine young bass player, still learning.
Not
but
that young.
Okay, to me you young. And he's looking for somebody to play with, and we can reach you at how can we find you?
I'm on Facebook, Rob Mo, Rob Morris. Robert L. Morris is actually my Facebook name. That's pretty much where you got to reach me at.
Okay, Rob L. Morris on Facebook, or facebook.com/Robert L. Morris.
Mm-hmm.
Look him up, y'all. This guy can play. He's got a couple of YouTube videos out. Of course, you can check this out on YouTube, /Ivan Williams, or DetroitBassPlayers.com, or www.facebook.com. Search for Detroit Bass Players Group. So, and ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Mr. Rob Morris for coming out to show the Detroit Bass Players some love. And if you want to, just go and play a little something, man. Just a little something. Don't be so embarrassed and shy. Do something.